Hey, Shalom. Call Halayim La AhlahayaNawa, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Harakakwadash, Shalom Wabarakim La Bakayarim, Yasha Allah, Washini Kabaga Wala Wakab, Sukoni Nawa, Waha Shalayakim, Nawa Yasha Allah, Ba'aith. All right, what I just said was all praises to the Heavenly Father. His name is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai. That's what encompasses or makes up AhlahayaNawa. Allah means power, Nawa means hour. So in the title, when you see AhlahayaNawa is greater than BRICS, AhlahayaNawa means our power. I also said peace and blessings to the elect of Israel, and I also said double honors to our elders and apostles of Israel in these times, all right, known as Great Millstone. Okay, so BRICS is an acronym. All right, BRICS is actually an acronym, and it stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. All right, now let me show you this article here from the Financial Express. Just bringing out some prophecies. All right, we're in the time of prophecy, so we'll prophesy here. This is the article. It says China backs India in hosting BRIC. Is it still relevant? All right, and then you have these leaders. Again, the leaders from Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. All right, I'm gonna read just a few precepts. Read a few sentences from this article, and then I'm gonna get some scriptures, some prophetic scriptures that have to do the deal with what they're talking about. All right, now this is as India has taken over the responsibility of hosting of the BRICS event for this year, has been endorsed by China, is in this endeavor. The debates and discussions about the relevance of BRICS and also its greater impact on the Sino-Indian relations have risen from dormancy yet again. The press Kamanuk mentions that it is the intentions of BRICS nations to further greater cooperation and strengthen the relations between the states involved, and also to move the three-pillar driven agenda, a greater political, economic, and cultural cooperation. Efforts will also be made to strengthen and expand BRICS Plus. BRICS Plus is an initiative to widen BRICS initiative, keeping the primary importance of the 5 founding members, but also opening up to a circle of friends and consequently be involved in greater South-South cooperation. So right now there's only 5 countries involved, but more countries are going to get involved with the BRICS is what they're saying. It says the initiative is aimed at providing opportunities, developing economies for communication and constellation. The initiative is not just aimed at building capabilities and cooperation mechanisms with emerging economies. It is also a path for BRICS towards a greater global presence, and eventually global governance. So you hear that? The initiative of BRICS is not just aimed at building capabilities and cooperation and mechanisms with emerging economies. It is also a path for BRICS towards a greater global presence and eventually global governance. All right, now we know that the governance, all right, and the ruling of the earth is about to change, but Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa are not going to have part in that rulership. All right, this is Psalms chapter. I'm gonna go right to scriptures now. This is Psalms of the book of Thahalim in the Hebrew. Psalms 2:1. It says, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers take counsel together, saying against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cord from us. So right now, BRICS represents the kings of the earth. All right, the King David was also a prophet. He was a king, he was a warrior, he was a musician, and he was a prophet. And in Psalms, the 2nd chapter, he prophesied of different organizations such as BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. That's why he said the kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord. And he refers to this as the heathen raging and the people imagining a vain thing, because what BRICS is, They're basically saying that Brazil and Russia will come up with the resources. China and India will come up with the monetary system. And then South Africa will do some other type of litigation, basically so that they can govern the world's resources and basically the whole entire earth. Verse 3, it says, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. It says, he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord shall have them in derision. So right now they think their plans are going to go according to what they believe, but the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, which is AhlahayaNawa, our power through the Spirit, he said that he's going to have them in derision. Now let's look up that word derision, Yala'ig, all right, or La'ig, which means to mock, ridicule, to stammer, to mock, basically. So the Lord is going to be mocking and laughing at them. And the first way that he's doing that is with us, because we know this BRICS crap ain't going to work. We know that Yahweh and Yahweh Shai and the heavenly host, Tazabah, is going to come back and destroy all this. Second Ezra, because the earth doesn't even belong to them. So this is Second Ezra 6 and 54. It says, and after these Adam also, whom thou madest the Lord of all creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. So everybody came from Adam. Everybody thinks that they should have a portion of this earth. The Brazil came from Adam, which that's the tribe of Asher. You have Russia, the Edomites, India, the Elamites, China, descendants of the Moabites, children of Lot, South Africa, the children of Ham. All right, a lot of them, the tall and dark-skinned ones, will probably go back to the actual Montezarian Egyptians. So you have all these people that came from Adam, but then here in Ezra it says, and the people whom thou hast chosen. All this I have spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. Now Ezra is a Levite. All right, Ezra himself was a priest and a prophet, a seer and a visionary of the tribe of Levi from the nation of Israel. All right, now verse 56, 2 Ezra 6 and 56. As for the other people which also come of Adam, thou said that they are nothing but be like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them to a drop that fall from a vessel. So the Lord doesn't care about all these other nations. He said he has likened them unto spit. So this whole BRICS council, all right, that's going together, where you're trying to intermingle these different nations together, the Lord said that's like spit. He don't even care about that. That's like excrement, It says, it has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, these BRICS, which have ever been reputed as nothing, meaning they've always ain't been shit, I was going to name this BRICS ain't shit, but hoes and tricks. But I stopped, because this title is more edifying, through the Spirit. AhlahayaNawa is greater than BRICS. I'll read that again. 57. And now, O Lord, these heathen which have ever been reputed as nothing have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. That's why in Psalms, the 2nd chapter, and in verse 3, this is what the heathen were saying: let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. Because we had these heathen in subjection, we had them on a leash. We were ruling their earth in righteousness. But because us, the Israelites, fell off, and now the earth is in a great turmoil. And now you have this organization called BRICS trying to come together to fix that. All right, but no one here on earth in their carnal and mortal bodies can fix what's going on here, physically and spiritually, except for our power. BRICS ain't shit, man. 57 again. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen which have ever been reputed as nothing have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. It says, but we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, according to Exodus 4:22. Moses told Pharaoh that, all right, he said that Israel is his firstborn. Thy only begotten and thy fervent lover are given into their hands. And if the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure? So it's gonna end very, very soon, very soon. Daniel's 2 and 44. Let's go to some more prophecies, because what's going on with BRICS, and I'll just read this again so the people that are now tuning in, you can see what this is. It's an article from Financial Express. All right, and it says China backs India in hosting BRICS. Is it still relevant? And no, it's not relevant. It's relevant so that you can fall, but it's not relevant so that it's going to continue. All right, like, let's do this. This is relevant because this is what's going to help us. That's not what's going to happen. Yeah, Yahweh Shai and the angels going to help you by destroying and collapsing the economy, no matter what, no matter how many resources these countries try to pull together. Daniel, or Danya Allah, in the Hebrew, chapter 2, verse 43, it says, "And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is mixed with the clay." So in this vision, Daniel saw all these kingdoms, all right? The brass, the iron, all right, the gold. You had Babylon, the Persians, the Medo-Persians, you had Rome. All right, now we're speeding up until now, and now they're all mixed and mingled, all right, and they're not cleaving to one another. That's why you have something called a Brexit. All right, you have Germany trying to leave the EU. You got all these countries trying to leave the EU, meaning prophecies coming to pass. Now, verse 44, I'm going to tie this into the BRICS situation. Daniel's 2 and 44, and it says, "In the days of these kings," all right, these are the same kings that were mentioned in Psalms 2 and verse 2. Remember, this is how we link it up. If you're new to this, you should be writing this in your sword. You know what I'm saying? Sure, because these scriptures link up. When you see kings of the earth, and Daniel's talking about in the time of these kings, you're like, wait a minute, this has to link. Well, it does. Again, Psalms 2 and 2, "The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord Yahweh, and against his anointed Yahweh Shai and the elect, saying, Let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us." Daniel 2 and 44, "And in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom, which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people." You hear that? The kingdom shall not be left to other people. So when in history did King David, King Solomon, Josiah, Hezekiah, all these great kings and rulers, Ahaziah, they did right by the Lord, did right by Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. When they were done ruling, said, you know what, we're going to give this kingdom, instead of giving it to my son, I'm going to give it to another nation. It never happened. Okay? The Israel never elected Moabites. It's in our law that says if we're supposed to put someone over, it's supposed to be one person from our nation, from our own people. You see? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the rest of the Israelite foreigners, throughout the world, and you out here voting for these leaders and believing in these different legislations that are coming out, and it has nothing to do with us. And the Lord is putting the spirit of dissension, all right, and turmoil on the earth within these belief systems, man, and these councils. They're having these councils. That's why the article said, is it still relevant? The Lord doesn't care whether China endorses India, whether Moab and India and Elam get together. He gave the earth to the Israelites. That's why Daniel, the prophecy of Daniel that still has to come to pass, Danya Allah 2 and 4, "And in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. And the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And it shall stand forever." So the kingdom of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, AhlahayaNawa, which means the Most High and his Son in our power, it's not going to be left to other people. It's going to break all these kingdoms. All right? BRICS ain't shit, but hoes and tricks. All right? I wanted to name it that, but AhlahayaNawa, again, is more edifying. Because it is tricks, man. This is a trick. Somebody who's not in the faith or don't know no better would see this BRICS council coming together and say, you know what, damn, it looks like the U.S. Is being excommunicated and Russia and China are trying to take over. It's not the case. 2 Ezra 13 and 1. "And then it came to pass after 7 days," is Ezra again, "I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea that had moved in the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him." Now, this is Ezra actually seeing who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, coming out of the waters of the heavens. His name is Yahushua. I saw Yahushua coming down with the thousands of heaven. All right. And everything was shaken underneath. Everything was scared on the earth. All right. Verse 4, it says, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. So when the Lord Yahushua comes back and he speaks and issues his judgment from this vehicle that he's going to show up with, fire is going to come out. And everyone's going to get consumed who's not of the elect. All right, according to the prophecies. Remember, the Lord said there should be wailing and gnashing of teeth, cast into outer darkness. All right, but the elect, those days, what will have abundance. Abaratazah, we keep enduring. We're of the hopeful elect, we keep enduring. We keep our faith. We're not going to have to worry about that. But BRICS and these other nations, Ezra's about to talk about you. Verse 5, 2nd Ezra 13:5. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. So eventually these leaders, they're trying to pull together to fix the earth. Remember, the initiative, it says for BRICS, the initiative is not just aimed at building capabilities and cooperation mechanisms with emerging economies. It is also a path for BRICS towards a greater global presence and eventually global governance. All right. Well, you're going to come together on a global scale, okay? But it's going to be to fight Yahushua and his angels, and they know this. Chariots are showing up everywhere. You know, they can't stop the videos of these lights. It looks like sparks. The chariots looks like sparks in the sky, shooting across the sky. You know, this past Friday night, I was helping somebody move a couch. Now he didn't know what was going on. We driving up the highway, and I saw a chariot is shot across the sky. Now it was cloudy outside. You know, it was raining. It had been raining these last couple of days. There were no clouds in the sky. Now I saw it, but he didn't see it. You know, now that those vehicles are going to be the same ones that BRICS is fighting against. All right, and this is the first time I have seen a chariot in a while. I think the last time I saw a chariot when I went to go visit the mighty men up in Rochester. You know, Gabar, Marar, these brothers up there, Karataza, saw a chariot on the way up there in the mountains of New York. Now this is what BRICS, this is what BRICS is afraid of. That's why 2nd Ezra's 13:5, and it says, and after this, they're talking about the chariots. They're talking about the Israelites. They're talking about the prophecies. They're not going to say it in these articles, but the prophecy says that all eyes are going to be fixated on the truth. They're going to come after the men that are speaking the truth. Remember the time of the Maccabees, it says there was a time when we couldn't even profess ourselves to be Jews. Why is that? Because a certain legislation came down, a certain law came down upon the people, and that's what's going on. All right, because they're going to try and stifle the truth. They know good and well that what they're doing is not going to work. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a great multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. But I beheld, and lo, he graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. And they're not going to be able to stop him. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they, meaning BRICS, and all these countries that have military, air force capabilities, were gathered together to subdue him, were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. I might do a video on that. The Lord's going to force you to fight. These countries, look, remember, when he appeared, everything under heaven, it said, trembled, all right, when they saw him. But they still wanted to fight. Why? Because they have it in their mind. They have it in their mind that what they're doing in these councils and BRICS is going to fix what's going on the earth. They want to have global governance. The earth belongs to AhlahayaNawa, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Ba'ashem Kakwadash, all right, Wabakayarim, man, the elect, man. That's who this earth belongs to. It don't belong to no goddamn BRICS. All right. First of all, the Israelites still call themselves Brazilians. Anyone ain't dealing with y'all. And a lot of them might be Edomites, man. Well, some of them figures, a lot of them may be descendants of the Spaniards for all we know, the conquerors. Now this is Zephaniah or Tazapanya in the Hebrew, Zephaniah, more prophecy about how AhlahayaNawa is greater than BRICS. This is Zephaniah 1 and 10. Read down. Tazapanya 1 and 10. In the Hebrew, it says, "And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, there shall be the noise of a cry from the fish gate, and a howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills." Now this is talking about the economy, because the next verse explains it. But when we hear there's going to be a cry from the fish gate is where the food source comes in. You know, that's where the resources come in. You know, where you see out there in Seattle, Washington, out there tossing fish to each other, people catching the fish, giving people the money. That's what this is talking about. Now, there's going to be people crying in markets like this. Why? Because the economy is going to fail all over the earth, physically and digitally. Now it says, "and a howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills." Now the hills represents governments. All right, we talk about hills and mountains. We're talking about a high point, someone who's high up in society, an empire or power structure that's very high and lofty, that's looking down. Now I said there's going to be a crashing from the hills. Don't we always say what? The economy is going to what? Crash, right? Let's look up that word crashing. A crashing from the hills. The word crashing says washabar, it's probably just shabar, and it is shabar. Breaking, fracture, crushing, a breach, a ruin, shattering, breaking of a dream, interpretation, quarries, crashing, fracture. So this is what it means when it says shall be a crashing from the hills. A hashabar. Oh, it says in the scripture, it says a washabar. Now let's go to verse 11. Tazapanya or Zephaniah 1 and 11. It says, "How ye inhabitants of Maktesh." You know, you stub your toe, you know what I'm saying? And you get hit, something hurts, you howl. That's what the Lord wants Maktesh to do. Maktesh was an ancient merchant city. All right, Makathash in the Hebrew. Makathash, it says a mortar, a deep hollow, a hollow valley. It says evidently in greater Jerusalem area. All right, but when you look this up, it goes into how a lot of trading and commerce was going in Maktesh. That's why in the previous verse, it talks about crying at the fish gate. It talks about things that keep the economy going are going to be ruined. They're going to be shattered. That's why the Lord said, "How ye inhabitants of Maktesh, for all the merchant people are cut off, and they that bear silver are cut off." And that's what's going on right now. So BRICS, you're not greater. All right, the Lord is talking about destroying the commerce, destroying the economy. We jump down to verse 18. It tells Zephaniah 1 and 18, Zephaniah 1 and 18. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath. But the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy, for he shall make even a speedy riddance of them that dwell on the land. All right. So, and that's pretty much all the precepts I had. Just proving that BRICS is not going according to prophecy. Whatever they got going on, I don't care how much money, digital money, China tries to give to India to host BRICS. Yeah, you can host it, or you can have your meeting. But guess what? Everything you're talking about, your action items, your itemized list of things that you want to do to control the earth and keep the Israelites in subjection, it ain't gonna work. Yahweh Shah is coming to wreck all of it. All right. So with that, I'm gonna give all praises unto our power. AhlahayaNawa Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakwadash, the Wadi Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai for allowing me to do this. I pray and I know you were edified, and I admonish and warn you, you know what I'm saying, to go on the internet and type in BRICS, BRICS, and look up some news on it, you know what I'm saying? Because these countries are really trying to come together on the sneak tip to control the earth, you know? And I'm pretty sure they're talking about the mark of the beast, a digital currency, and an implantable chip to put in everybody, you know what I'm saying? So again, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shai. I say shalom to the elect, and double honors, of course, to our elders and apostles coming back in the reincarnation. All right, and these times are known as Great Millstone. All right, in the Hebrew, that would be Gawala, meaning great, and Rakab, meaning stone, Shanya, meaning two, and Kabad, meaning honor or glory. So, hey, shalom, and again, Barakatah, how about Shalom.